Welcome guys to a new video series, In-Depth With. This week we have our CTO, Bobby Richter.
Okay guys, today I think we're going to have a chat about devices called ESS, and ESS stands for Energy Storage System, and particularly the home ESS systems. So these are units that don't run huge buildings, they're ones that are normally portable and you can carry around and put in your home and run all your essential stuff. So home ESS has come about due to load shedding, obviously. Before it was just a camping and a leisure product, and they used to have all sorts of things attached to them, like USB ports and cell phone chargers and lights and whatever they could use when they were camping or fishing or whatever. But now we realize that things have to be more focused. It has to be focused on the problem that we have in this wonderful country of ours, and that is we don't have power for large parts of the day. So Linkqage developed their own home ESS systems, and we're going to chat about them today.
The first question for discussion is our mini DC UPS. You show the camera a little product there.
Okay guys, so here we have our mini DC UPS, and it's got our logo on it, and it's a very basic system, as you can see, and it looks almost like a router. Its primary job is to power your home router and your ONT and keep your internet up and running. That's really what it's for. And it has got a USB charger, a USB port on the charger in case you need to power up your cell phone. Okay, so there you can have a look at it. All right, so this is how the whole home power thing started. It started with this little device.
So our first question about this product is, what is the battery capacity and what makes it a safe battery?
Okay.
Simple question to start with.
So as I mentioned before, this unit's designed to power your home router and your fiber ONT, it's called, which is also a little mini router. So technically it's going to be running two routers of two different types. And you plug your mains into the mains input. It's got an output of 12 volts on one socket, an output of 9 volts on one socket, and an output of 5 volts on another socket. And then it's got a PoE function as well. And the PoE can be either 24 volts or 15 volts based on this little switch over here. Okay? You can actually use all of the outputs at once, which is quite unique with this unit. All right. So,
and that leads on to the next question: what makes our DC UPS so unique?
Yeah. So with that feature, if you turn it around, in an emergency, if you want to charge your cell phone or charge your music device, you've also got your USB port that side. Very simple, on an on-off switch and an indicator. All right. So what makes it safe? You know, you can buy these things in many platforms online all over. So being a technical person, I'll get everything the right way around. I'm going to open it for you. And if you have a look inside, you can now see that it consists of batteries, which are 16850, I think. Yeah. And you'll notice that normally a battery has only got two main cables that goes to it, but you see a lot of cables on this unit because it's got a built-in cell balancer and cell monitor. So each cell in this battery pack is monitored by the CPU inside here. So if any cell goes faulty, we know straight away. These cells are interchangeable, as you can see, and each cell is 2,200 milliamp hours. So there's 4 of them here. So that gives you 8,800 milliamp hours, which is more than enough power to power your router. Everything around here is designed to international specifications. I want to point out it's even got surge suppression over there. So if there's a lightning strike, it's likely to survive. And yeah, laid out to international standards and very safe. I'll put the lid back on. So that's our little mini DC UPS. Okay. And last but not least, I want to emphasize that the battery quality is the critical part. And you'll notice that all of these batteries are serialized individually. The manufacturer is clearly shown and the manufacture date is clearly shown. So there's no second-hand or substandard batteries in our units.
So we have our 300 watt ESS, and the question for Bobby is, how do we ensure the safety of this ESS product?
Okay, great. Safety starts right in the beginning of the design. So if you look at this unit, it's in a totally enclosed metal cabinet. And I'm not going to open this unit like I did with other units in the past, because we just want to emphasize the functionality of this unit first. Okay. So our 300 watt ESS, again, ESS is home energy storage system. You can see that I'm holding it in my hand, and it's not a very heavy unit, but it's got 640 watt hours of power inside here. And these are lithium iron phosphate LFP batteries, which are the safest possible batteries that you can buy. Okay. Built into this unit is a 300 watt pure sine wave AC inverter. Now this is an AC solution, and you'll see that it's got two plugs. And you can plug in your computer, your TV, anything that uses less than 300 watts in here. And if you want a USB adapter, you can plug it in here as well. So you've got two plugs, very simple. It's got an AC light, a battery light, and a problem light. So there's no complications about understanding what's going on with this unit. If the AC light is green, it's got AC. If the battery light is green, the battery's okay. If the battery light goes red, it means it's running off the battery. And if you get a red light with the exclamation mark, then you know there's something wrong. So here's the output, and you turn it around, and as you can see, we have a little fan. The fan is the quietest fan that we can buy. Okay, so it's going to be as quiet as it possibly can be to keep itself cool. It's got an on-off switch, it's got a DC on-off switch, it's got a USB to talk to the computer if you want to monitor what's going on, and then is your battery expansion. So this unit can take an extra battery, which we'll talk about later. There's a fuse here, so if the unit gets overloaded, instead of the electronics failing, possibly the fuse will blow. There's also a fuse on the input. So it's a very simple unit, and it's designed to keep a workstation, a laptop with two monitors, and your router and everything working through a 4-hour load shedding schedule. Okay. It's also got a 20 amp charger inside here. So it will charge this battery up in under 2 hours. And that's all I can tell you about the 300 watt ESS unit. And let's look at the battery. If the 602 watt hour capacity, remember it's 300 watts, 640 watt hours, which means it'll easily run over a 2-hour load shedding session, and with some capacity to spare. But if you wanted to run longer, you can add another 640 watt hours of power, which will make 1,280 watt hours by adding an extra battery. Okay, this little cable, I'm stretching over, it goes in there, plugs in there, and it's simple to add extra capacity. Okay, so that's your 300 watt home ESS system. It comes with a 2-year warranty and very, very simple to use. And it's not expensive. All right, you can add one battery pack onto this unit, and with the one inside, which gives you 1,280 watts of power.
Will you comment on how the charging system works when you add your extended battery?
Yes, okay, so this unit works like most other devices out there. When you add a battery, the charging of the additional battery is done by the inverter itself, by the original unit. There's no additional charger, so it will take a bit longer, just under 3 hours to charge both batteries together. But it will run, when it's running, for twice as long. Okay, so that's how this one works.
And finally, can you comment on what makes this cable unique with this unit?
When you look at this cable that links, just to give you an idea of Linkqage's attention to detail, it looks like a normal cable that you use to connect two units together. But if you touch the cable and you feel, this cable is made from high-grade silicone on the insulation, which means if there is a malfunction and a short being silicone, it won't melt and it won't burn. Okay, so this cable is spec'd to take very, very high temperatures.
And what is the temperature for the silicone to finally ignite, to give an idea of how high a temperature it has?
This is spec'd at over 1,000 degrees centigrade. Okay.
Looking at our 1000 watt ESS, please comment on our battery management system and safety.
Guys, this is the 1000 watt ESS. So when we talk about safety, we have to be quite specific about the battery management. This unit here is designed with an internal lithium iron phosphate battery. The capacity of the battery is 1280 watts, and it's managed internally by a battery management system which ensures that if anything starts to behave beyond the specifications, it will shut everything down. But coming back to lithium iron phosphate, again, it is the most safe type of lithium battery that you can buy. Okay, it doesn't burn spontaneously, it'll only smoke, and it's extremely safe under most conditions. We have enclosed the unit, and again, this is our 1000 watt unit. We've enclosed it in a metal cabinet, and it is completely splash proof, and it is very stable, and it can't fall over. All right, so that's what we've done from a safety aspect physically. So let's look at the unit itself. It's a very attractive looking tower unit. It has a handle on top. It is still very, very portable. It's got a very simple battery indicator, an on-off switch, and again, it's got 3 lights which basically indicate AC, battery, or a problem. Okay, so this thing's not going to give you a history of what's going on inside. It's not designed to do that. It's designed primarily to power your TV, to power your workstation. Now we're talking about technical workstations where you do graphic designing or video editing, and it'll still in the background power your router and your ONT. So I'm going to turn it around, and it's going to lift it up so I don't scratch the table. Again, this is the back of the unit. You've got your DC breaker, you've got your AC fuse, you've got 2 outputs, your USB for computer communications, your battery expansion socket, and your AC. Very, very simple. If you turn it some more, you'll see there's a fan. This fan again is designed to be as quiet as possible, so it won't intrude in most normal homes. And that's the unit itself. Inside it delivers 1000 watts AC at a pure sine wave. Okay, so you've got a pure sine wave unit, so you can run medical equipment, you can run anything, it won't interfere with audio, and that's our 1000 watt ESS unit. Now, what happens if you want to expand this unit? I'm keeping to turn it around, show you the front of it. So now you've got this unit, you've got 1280 watts of power, and which means if you draw in about 600 watts, you can easily go through a load shedding schedule. But let's say you want to draw 1000 watts and you want to last for 2 hours. Then you need to add the battery pack. So I'm going to bring now. Oops. There's the battery pack. This adds an additional 1280 watt hours of power. So now you've got 2520 or 60, 2560. Now you've got 2560 watt hours, which means you can pull 1 kilowatt from this inverter and it will last for 2 hours or longer. Okay, how do you connect them up? I'm going to turn them both around again. Daniel will help me turn that one around. As you can see, the units, here's the power unit with the plugs from AC. You'll notice now on this battery pack, it's actually got an AC input. And the reason for that is when you connect these two units together, you can connect up to 4 of these battery packs together. But now this has got its own internal 20 amp charger, so it will charge its batteries independently. This has also got a 20 amp charger. So now you've got 40 amps of charging, which means your charge time stays the same. As you add more batteries, your charge time doesn't take longer. So now you can recharge this unit in under 2 hours, both of them together. Alright, so very easy to plug in. Again, the wire is made of silicone. Silicone wires, you plug it in this way, goes in there, goes in there. That's it, you've just doubled your run time. If you want to, you get another cable to the next one, and so on and so on. And that's basically how simple it is for these units. Okay. So that's the battery pack, and this is the inverter. So I'm going to turn it back around. When you put them together, spin them around. When you spin them together, they look like this. A nice tower of power from Linkqage. Okay. Again, I can't more than emphasize, very simple. If you want USB, if you want to charge your cell phone, put your USB to mains charger in the socket. It's not built in here. Why is it not built in here? Because as an installer, you don't want the client bringing a whole power solution back to fix a USB port. Okay? This thing does the job it's intended to do, and it does it very well. And that's our 1000 watt ESS system.
We're looking at our larger 3000 watt ESS. And Bobby, why are you so excited about this product?
Well, this product is something that's taken about 6 months to develop. And there are so many people in South Africa that can't afford to buy a home. And they just don't have the ability to put an inverter inside a home that they've rented or they're staying in temporarily. So this unit is designed to provide a home user with power that is safe and able to be plugged straight into a main socket. So if you, for example, I'm just leaning down, here's the power cord for this 3000 watt ESS, and you'll see on the one end it's got a normal South African power plug, and on the other end it's going to plug in here. And what makes this important to emphasize is that no electrician or certification is required to use this solution. You plug it straight into the mains, and it's limited to 3000 watts so that it can't overload any circuits inside your house when it's charging the batteries. So what we have here is a 3000 VA 2400 watt ESS system for home use. It's fully portable. You won't pick it up very easily, but you can see it's on wheels, which are lockable. It also has an LFP battery inside, and there are two models, one with a 2560 watt hour battery and one with a 5120 watt hour battery, which is a huge amount of capacity. Such a large battery allows you to run all your devices. You can even run a kettle, some home appliances, and even a hairdryer off this unit. But it's really designed to keep your home going through load shedding cycles, so you can almost live normally inside your house. It's a pure sine wave inverter. Again, it is very simple to operate. It's got an on-off button, which I know is there somewhere. It's got a little LCD display, and it's got 4 plugs, as you can see. 2 groups of plugs are separately isolated, which means if you overload one group of plugs and your TV and your routers on the bottom one, it won't trip that one out. So it allows you some form of segregation of the load. Then at the back, you've got an earth leakage, which is unheard of in any ESSs, but for SANS regulations, we need an earth leakage, so it's built into the unit, and a DC battery isolator is built in, and you can close this so that if your toddler is running around or whatever, they can't easily turn it off. You've got solar input on this one. If you want to complement it with solar, there's your solar input, and you've got communications with a computer if you want to monitor it. So very, very simple unit. Again, it's got no USB ports for your, turn it back around. You'll notice I can maneuver it quite easily. No USB ports. If you want USB, you plug in a mains to USB adapter to charge your phone and to charge your laptop or whatever you want to do. So what makes this very unique is that it's designed from the ground up for the purpose of powering your home as safely as possible. Okay. And when you leave the home that you've rented, you can take it, put it in your car, and take it to your next residence. So this is really the biggest portable power solution you can have in a South African home that plugs into normal mains sockets. Anything bigger than this needs to be wired in by an electrician. So when you buy this unit, the only cost you have is the price you're paying for the unit. This is our 3000 VA, 2400 watt home ESS system. Okay. Some of you might ask, why 2400 watts and not 3000 watts? The reason being is if you're drawing 2400 watts with the power from this unit and you're trying to charge the batteries, the battery charger will be using 1000 watts internally, plus your 2400 watts that you're using for your appliance is 3400 watts, and that's the maximum that you're allowed to pull from a normal mains socket. Okay, so if we made it 3000 watts RMS, which is 3000 watts, and we had to charge the batteries, we'd draw 4000 watts, which would cause your socket to overheat and cause your upstream breakers to trip. All right.
So Bobby, please will you comment on the solar aspect of this unit?
Okay. Well, I'll do. I think the reason why we've added solar to the bigger unit is that these can be used in rural areas, and one of the purposes of its design is to be used in areas where there may not be mains. So you need an alternate means of charging. So you can plug some solar panels into there, and it will give you a 50 amp charge capability, which means that you can charge up this battery and solar under full power within 2.5 hours. And if, for example, you don't want to use the mains exclusively to charge or the solar exclusively, you can actually do it together. So you can partially charge from solar and partially charge from mains. So this one has a solar capability, and it can be used for your cottage or your cabin, or maybe if guys are lucky enough to have them in their caravans or RVs. It's also a nice unit to be used under those conditions.